Hello everyone and welcome back to No Cabin Fever today. With us today we have Alexander from venIture, and he will tell us a little bit about how to enable Jira for business team. And without further ado, I'd like to hand over to Alexander.
Thank you. Hello everyone. I will share my screen. So let's see. Yes, my name is Alexander Post. I'm founder and managing director of venIture. Today, I want to show you how you can use Jira for business teams and exactly how you enable Jira to be useful for business teams. So that means for today, we're discussing roughly the general requirements for business teams, the current situation, and afterwards I will show you some live examples within Jira for business teams. So let's say in general, business teams want to have support for the workflow, tool-based obviously. They want to increase their visibility, and basically the questions they ask is on what task are we currently working, which tasks are to do currently, or who is working on what. So even with the current situation, this gets more and more important. With home office, the people need to have increased visibility about the task. The tool or the support they wish needs to be easy to use. So they don't want to have a lot of training, and it should support automations. So it doesn't help to have just a tool where they do their work like currently, without any improvements. Also, a lot of business teams want to have reporting. So what's the current status of a project? How many hours did we work on something? And so on. Another point is less mails. So a lot of business teams are currently working with mails. That means they get every day a lot of them. They don't have a good overview, and mails are some sort of task for them. And mostly also business teams don't want to use another tool. That means they don't want to have hundreds of tools in their company to actually do their work. So the current tools, this is just an example, which are basically used is obviously Outlook, Excel, Word, Teams, Trello, Coupa or Salesforce, and SAP. So these are the tools where they basically rely on. A lot of them uses Excel for managing data. So let's go to Jira. So why is Jira not obviously the best solution at the beginning for business teams? So the interface is, I would say, complex. So it has a lot of information which are useful, but on the other hand, for business teams, they might be too overloaded. If a feature is missing, you have the possibility to install apps, but each app adds additional information, which might not be useful for each business case. And if you install more apps, the loading times will increase. So today I want to show you a few examples, some in detail, and some just roughly, and how you can adjust Jira to be easy to use for the business teams. So let's switch shortly. So what you can see right now is the overview of the projects within Jira. So basically what he has already prepared is a project for asset management, a Scrum team, customer management, an example business project, HR service desk, a legal service desk, marketing, project management, sales, and strategic goals. So this is an example of which teams actually could use Jira. So within these projects are already some issues and workflows configured to support to support the team in the daily business. So as example, when we go to the HR service desk, we could easily build something like, hey, I want to have a job application form and also a leave request form. So if we would, for example, open the leave request, you could state from when to when actually you want to have leave, and also how many working days this includes, and also who is your line manager. For example, in this case, I choose myself. So as you can see, this is basically very easy, and it's also easy to implement. The problem is if you go to the agent view, that means to the to the area where actually the business team is working, then you can see that you have a lot of information. And also the information is maybe, let's say, unstructured. So for example, you have attachments, but you don't need attachments. You have a description, you might don't need a description. Then you have also on the right side a lot of information like approvers, SLA, and so on, and also HipChat discussions. So these information are actually not necessary. That's a huge problem actually for business teams. So I want to show you something how this could be changed. Give me a sec. For example, if I would reload this now, I just enabled an app, then you can see the complete layout of the issue looks completely different. That means in this case, as I stated, the information which is currently not necessary or necessary at all is hidden. Also, the issue looks cleaner than before. So you only have the information which are necessary or not necessary. As example, in the activity stream, you only see the comments because in this case, nothing else is important. I can show you something different as a second example. So for example, the project management. So what we could basically do is to say we want to create a project. So like my new example project. As you can see, this is basically the functionality which Jira has by default. We only use one app to make the issue linking easier. For this case, I can say for this project, sorry, what the strategic goal is. And based on this selection, I can also do different selections. So, for example, select also the customer. And as you can see now, I created a project, and my project has all the information which I insert before. So I see the customer, I see the strategic goal, also the initiative, and I have it also very clean layout for my project here. What's very cool is that I could, for example, go to the customer, and here we go to a different issue, which is again an example how you could manage customers within Jira. What you can see here is that instead of descriptions, you have a field called notes. It's basically just renamed. So I could enter my notes to the customer. And this already shows that this interface is more focused on the business need here. So instead of having a description, it's renamed to notes that the user who is using it already knows, oh, here is the place where I could add notes to the customer. What I can see also is which sales opportunity belongs to the customer. So for example, I have here an issue which represents the sales opportunity, which has also an easy workflow like in Salesforce, where you could, for example, say this opportunity has currently 50% reach. And as soon as the sale is, or the opportunity is 100%, you could select on the one side an existing project, or you could say, I want to create a new project. Again, a new project for my opportunity. Typo. Select create, and obviously a solution, done. And when I reload the issue, I'll go to my project, sorry, then I should see the project I just created. So this is one example what you could do. Another one is that we also manage the strategic goals. In doing that, you can again create an issue for initiatives and also for strategic goals. But what you can see here is currently no layout is applied to that. So I want to show you right now roughly what you could do to improve that as administrator. So what we could do is to create a new layout. In doing that, we click on Add, say strategic goal, go to or select the project goals, select one issue as the example. And right now you can see the layout which is currently displayed. So for example, you can say the description is necessary, but the attachment is not necessary. Therefore, I can remove it. I could also say I want to hide the sidebar because it's not important. If I save the layout, then I can go to layout schemes and apply this layout to multiple projects or to just one project and a specific issue type. For example, I want to apply it for the whole strategic goal project. So I select the project. I don't choose any project types, and then I click just on add. But the only thing I did is to forget to select the layout, which I created before. So I select first the layout. And as soon as we go back to our goals, which are managed in Jira, you can see the layout is already applied. The sidebar is hidden, and also the information I removed is gone. Another point is what I could do is, which is very helpful, if I modify the layout strategic goal and add the issue details panel, I can replace it with the default one. I have more options here. So for example, even show fields which are empty and do a 3-column layout. So as soon as I save that and go to the issue back, then This is directly applied. Right now in this issue, there is no screens, so no fields. That's why nothing is displayed. This is not a good example here. But here you would actually see all the fields in a 3-column layout. So this is roughly in short introduction what is possible with issue layout and issue links to enable business teams to use Jira. I would right now use the time to answer your questions, if there are any.
If you have any questions, you can just use the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen, and then Alex will be happy to answer them.
There is something. The question is, does this influence Confluence integration? Not at all. That means you can use all the apps which are basically in Jira, or also installed third-party apps, and you can move and drag and drop them as you want. So there is no limitation with issue layout doing apps and also the Confluence integration by default.
There is one more question, Alex. Which plugins are necessary to change the layout?
Yes. So the plugins which are used in this example are only 2. So that are vlinks, which enables you to select different issues, and which enables you to use or to build up data structures like you are used to use it in Excel, and issue layout for manipulating the layout.
I guess one more question. Could the issue layout app influence the page load performance in any positive or negative way?
Only, yeah, it depends. In the most cases, it's improving the loading performance, because what we do is during the loading of the issue, we disable plugins and fragments. So all the stuff you have seen is done in the backend. And that means we reduce the HTML which is loaded, and also if you have plugins like Big Picture, which are loading a lot of data, or even Tempo, then the load speed of the sites are improved. We allow to do also specific things like focus views. That is a functionality to add additional views on the same issue, and there you have the possibility to add groovy code. So basically what you when you write bad groovy code, this could have an impact, but in general the performance with the basic configuration will improve. So this is the first app where we did a performance test, which will actually improve the loading time and the speed of the system.
Cool. Thank you very much for answering that one. So I guess time is up for today. Thank you everyone for joining No Cabin Fever today. Spread the word. We're back tomorrow with a talk by Lucas Gotta, and he will tell us a little bit about remote meeting management with Confluence. Thanks again for everyone for tuning in, and have a wonderful rest of the day. Take care. Bye-bye.